Hey guys, it's Sarah. I hope you're all doing amazing. Out of all of the Dollar Tree videos that I've made here on this channel, and it's been quite a few, there is one thing that I've never tried. That one thing is about to change today because we have a brand new Dollar Tree recipe video. For this video, we are going to be trying the infamous Dollar Tree Ribeye Steak, and I'm a little bit nervous. I've always said that I won't try the steak or the beef patty. I'm still on the fence with the beef patty because it says that it contains beef heart, and I just don't know if I can do it. In this video, we're going to be making a Dollar Tree steak ramen, so alongside of the ribeye steak, we're also going to be using the Millie's Delightful Sipping Broth. I shared this in a recent haul and I will link it up in the cards or down below if you didn't see that video. Along with those two Dollar Tree items, you're going to need a couple of other things, so here's what you're going to need. You're only going to need a few ingredients for this recipe, the first one being ramen noodles. This is the Nissin brand. You can find a 5-pack at Dollar Tree for $1.25. You're also going to need the ribeye steak. This is currently in the Dollar Tree Plus section, so it's $3. Along with that, you're going to be using the Millie's Sipping Broth, but you could also use chicken stock. This is the best sriracha chili sauce, and it's at Dollar Tree for $1.25. You're going to need brown sugar, broccoli from the frozen section, and then I'm just using these from my pantry: soy sauce, sesame oil, and then a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Now this Dollar Tree Plus steak is a little bit bigger than the one Dollar Tree used to sell for $1.25. It is pre-seasoned. You get 5.5 ounces for $3, so the price isn't too bad. It does contain sugar, so you want to make sure that you're looking at the ingredient list before you buy it if you are sensitive to certain things. I'm going to cut it from frozen just to make it a little bit easier so that the pieces are similar in size. I would recommend, maybe if you can, cutting against the grain, but I tried to cut it the best that I could, like on a slant, and you want all of the pieces to be similar in thickness so that it all cooks the same. That's one area where I messed up, and I don't do fat on my steak, so I just cut all of that off. As I sliced our cheap ass steak, I was pleasantly surprised with the color coming back. It had a nice marbling. It didn't look too shabby. I decided to give it a little bit of assistance by marinating it just for a bit. I used soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, sesame oil, a little bit of brown sugar. I probably would have done less if I had a chance to do this over. And then of course this amazing sriracha chili sauce. This is the ribeye after it's been sitting in the marinade for probably just like 15 minutes. I haven't had it in there for that long. It was super easy to cut. It was almost too easy. It didn't give much resistance. I saw a previous video where people were making these Philly cheesesteaks where they were cutting their ribeye frozen super duper thin, so I thought that would be a good way to cook this because you don't want it to cook too long. One of the worst things about the Dollar Tree broccoli is it's basically like all stems, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick out some of the little actual heads. These are the broths, which I'm very excited about. The ingredient list is amazing. I'm going to use 2 of the packets. They said that 1 bag makes 1 cup of broth, so I'm going to use 2 of the packets. I need to bring it to a boil first, so I'm going to bring that to a boil. So inside of my pan, I'm just going to use a mixture of just like a little bit of oil and butter. Because we went ahead and cut our Hurt Week meat, we made it super thin so it doesn't have to cook for that long. I would say maybe 2 minutes max on each side. When you see one side starting to brown, flip it over, let it cook for a little bit longer, and then pull it off. We are going to cook it again once we add the sauce. Make sure you don't overcook it. It's going to be super tough if you do, so keep an eye on it. Let it cook a little bit, maybe even have it be underdone because I promise it'll cook for a little bit more when we add the sauce. Okay, now our water is coming to a boil, so I'm going to just add that in. The sipping broths need to steep for 4 minutes, so once it came to a boil, I just turned it off and put the lid on, and then I went ahead and started taking our Hurt Week meat off of the heat. I'm going to clean out this skillet because we're going to add our broccoli in here. I just want to bring it back to life. I don't want it to be frozen when I put it into the sauce because that will create water, and nobody wants a watery sauce. Now for the sauce, I'm terrible at measurements, but I'll try my best to put some in the description box below. I know for a fact I would do half the amount of sugar that you see here on the screen. It was a touch too sweet, the end sauce. I wish it wasn't as sweet as it was, and I don't know if that's because I used sugar in the marinade and in the sauce, but I just wish it wasn't as sweet. If you want it to be more spicy, definitely use a little bit more sriracha. I'm not super big on spice. I like a little bit spicy, but not that much. I added in a few shakes of ginger just to help amplify the flavors. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but one thing that I also did was add in a little bit of cornstarch just to help thicken up the sauce. If you don't want it to be a thick sauce, you can can skip this part altogether. Wow, those broccolis are looking pretty good, so we're going to pull those bad boys off. And then after the 4 minutes was up, I tasted the sipping broth, and it does have a little bit of a watery taste, so I went ahead and added in some Better Than Bouillon, so it tasted more like a broth and less like a water. But I will give some tips at the end if you are interested on how I would tweak it in the future. Now, once it came to a boil, we're going to bring out our little sipping broth bags, and then we're going to have this broth come to a boil again so we can cook our ramen. Because I'm cooking with a cast iron skillet, I'm just adding a little bit of butter into the bottom of the pan before I add in our sauce. If you're using a non-stick skillet, you don't have to do this. The sauce won't stick and burn. So that's what I'm doing. I'm adding our hurt weak meat back in, our broccoli, and we're going to give it a good stir. Once the broth comes to a boil, you're going to add in your ramen noodles. Now, ramen noodles is super simple to make, but you want to make sure that you're not overcooking them or undercooking them. Either one is disgusting. So you want to constantly be stirring, spreading apart the noodles, mixing it up, and you want to keep an eye on it because you want them to be a little bit more on the firmer side, but definitely not undercooked and not overcooked. Once your ramen noodles are done for you, you're going to transfer them into the skillet with your hurt weak meat and your broccoli and your sauce, and you're going to mix that all up. When you do this, it's going to allow for your ramen noodles to get the sauce that we made, and it's going to make it taste delicious. Now, how much broth you use is definitely up to you. Everybody likes something a little different. I feel like this 2 cups of broth was the perfect amount. I actually added in way less than towards the end. I would add in more as I went, and I was like, the broth is actually one of the best parts. So if you are a broth type of person inside of your ramen, add in all of it that you see there. But if you want it to be more of like lo mein style and less broth, you don't have to add in as much. For a final touch, I went ahead and grabbed the Dollar Tree Everything Bagel Seasoning. If you have not tried this, you definitely should. It's only $1.25, and I basically use it on everything. It's perfect in this recipe because it adds a nice crunchy texture and it tastes delicious. So I just sprinkled that right on top, and this is our $5 Dollar Tree meal. It's not bad. I just wish the sauce wasn't so sweet. It reminds me of almost like a beef and broccoli ramen, like that flavor. The ramen is nice because it adds like, instead of having with rice, it adds like that nice little different texture. Let's talk about price breakdown as I munch on this a little bit more. The most expensive thing to buy was the ribeye steak, and if you are going to be making this for multiple people, you are going to have to buy multiple. So in total, I spent about $8 from Dollar Tree, and it totals out to be about $4.50 per serving to make this Dollar Tree steak ramen. All right, y'all, here's my final rating. I give it a solid 7.5. I feel like for a hurt week, in between pay, if you don't have anything at home and you need to throw something together, this is definitely a recipe to make. The ribeye was surprisingly not that bad. I've had worse steak from the grocery store, but the sauce really gave it like that nice added touch, and you definitely don't want to overcook it. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. Share it with a friend. Share it on social media. Sharing is caring, and it helps my channel not to die. And leave me a comment down below, especially if you are a real one. The hidden word for this video is munch. Put it in the comment section down below. Leave it in a funny, snarky, cute kind of way. Shout out to these lovely humans who left comments on my last video, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye, you guys.